Good evening. When facts are fragile and it feels impossible to have healthy, calm discourse, we are reminded more than ever how powerful words are. How everything, what we can do, who we can be, begins with what we say and hear.
Jin Lee is a singular voice. Her debut, Free Food for Millionaires, was named one of New York Times' top 10 books of the year. Such a unique voice when it came out, an ambitious, unforgettable entrance. Her work has shaped literature and deepened our understanding of identity, migration, belonging, and love.
And then came Pachinko, a masterpiece. A finalist for the National Book Award, a New York Times bestseller translated into over 35 languages. It didn't just captivate readers, it changed the global conversation about Korean diaspora, perseverance, and home.
Min writes with both conviction and tenderness. She brings dignity to the overlooked and compassion to every complexity.
And she is also a champion of young writers, for women, for all our communities. And through it all, she remains a humble, generous soul who throws a fantastic dinner party.
Min, I just want to say sometimes I crack open your book just to see what a sentence is supposed to sound like, a beautiful sentence. Your work is so incredible and beautiful, and I'm so glad that you are also my 11-year-old daughter's BFF. So let's take a look at Min's work.
It is said that literature defines us. It also unites us.
And our first guest of the day, so proud to have you, Jin Lee, the author of this amazing breakout giant novel, Pachinko.
He told us his daughter Melina had come into his bedroom talking about Pachinko, calling it the best book she had ever read.
The thing that I really care about is what is it that I really want to say? And then what I really think about is what do I really feel? And what do I want my reader to feel? I know I can't teach you all these other things these professors can teach you, but I can teach you how to tell the truth. And if I could teach you how to tell the truth, then I can make you into an original person. Because the world needs more truth tellers.
I think in the US, we have so much about individuality, and I think actually individuals are really important, but what's really important is how we're connected to each other.
And I signed the book for him, and I write these words: we are family. This is something I want my readers to know, that we are deeply connected as human beings.
History does not reflect the actual stories of ordinary people. Ordinary people are always neglected in history books. Even for those of us who are not kings or princesses, for those of us, we have still had this really important life. And it doesn't matter if there's no document of it, because our lives really matter. So that's what I really meant.
We are thrilled to present the Gold Legend honor
to the extraordinary Jin Lee.
I can't believe I'm here. I didn't have time to get Ozempic or a facelift, but I'm here. But I'm glad we have power now. I want to thank Sandra Oh and Isaac for being with me tonight. They embody excellence, creative integrity, and they have built bodies of work expressing their unlimited imagination. I also want to thank my brothers and sisters, Bing, Jeremy, Caroline, Prabal, Lori, and all the good folks who make this evening seem so seamless, except for this moment. And I want to thank you for using your time and talents to build Gold House. And you, this year's A100, and all the past year's A100, and those who have supported them, I want to extend my admiration and my congratulations. I have not had the privilege of meeting each of you. However, I know that because of your labor, creativity, and faithfulness, this house is increasing in its size, scale, and value. Brick by brick, our collective power is becoming unfathomably significant. If anything, I am deeply honored to be included in your midst. I'm a writer. I write books. I started writing and publishing in high school and continued to do so in college, but it never occurred to me that it was a job. Until I took an elective in Asian American literature in college, I didn't know that Asian immigrants and their descendants could ever publish books in English. I quit being a lawyer, a corporate lawyer, in 1995 when I was 26 years old to write fiction full-time. If you're doing the math, I'm 56. I look pretty good, right? In 2007, I published my first novel, Free Food for Millionaires. It took me 11 years after I quit being a lawyer. 10 years later, in 2017, I published my second book, Pachinko. In 2026, I will publish my third novel, American Hagwon. It will only take 9 years instead of 10, so that is an improvement. Please tell my publisher this. So that's 3 novels in 30 years. My father calls me the turtle because I am slow and because I am steady and because I always finish the race. In this room, we have brothers and sisters who are fast, smart, creative, powerful, incisive, persistent, gifted, and breathtaking. I bring up these qualities because we need each of us, with our varying talents and skills and pace, to keep building our growing house. America is suffering from a tremendous housing shortage. And I want to argue that this crisis of housing is critically important to all of us, to members of our family. In my home of New York City, 1 in 4 Asian Americans live below the poverty line. 1 in 4 Asian Americans. We have the highest rate of poverty out of any minority group in New York City. And we belong to a community in which disparity between the wealthiest person and the poorest person exists within our own family. Housing is a literal problem for the members of our family, and I also want to argue that Asian Americans are also suffering from another kind of housing shortage, where many of us, despite our very best efforts, are not always welcome in rooms of power, of art, of business, education, sports, fashion, entertainment, media, technology, and culture. I have had the opportunity of interviewing and listening to thousands of Asians and Asian Americans. And my conclusion from my research and writing is that you and I are deeply misunderstood and mischaracterized by the American majority and the nations of our immigrant ancestors, who view us as a monolith and in far too simplistic terms. We are seen as wealthy when some of us are poor. We are seen as a horde, an indistinguishable mass, when we are actually distinct individuals. We are seen as powerful when we are weak. And sometimes we are seen as weak when we're actually powerful. We are seen as disloyal when we are in fact loyal. We are seen as self-satisfied when we are anxious. We are seen so long as strangers when we are in fact neighbors and friends. I mentioned these polarities, the opposing tension of how some of us are actually doing and how we are feeling, because you and I know the complex truths of our lived experiences. You and I hold the power to tell the truth of who we are, how we're doing, what we have done, and what we have left undone. What keeps us up at night, and what we want and need for ourselves, our parents, our sisters and brothers, our children, and for all of our neighbors near and far. By telling our stories honestly and courageously, we will be free to build a stronger house, a bigger house, a more welcoming house. And I hope that we will have the house that is built to last far beyond our own lives. I thank you for letting me be in this room with you and to have a home for me to return to. And I thank you for being my family.